Hello and welcome back to my channel. We've talked about some inspirational famous personalities in this channel, some well-educated and from wealthy family, but you might not know him by his name. Video here. Some educated and not from a wealthy family, but you still know them by their inventions. Video here. Some from a middle class family and without any formal education, but you know them from everyday, you know them by name from everyday life. Video here. Today we are talking about a person that I and you know by name, but might not be very familiar with all of his work, even though we are familiar with most of it. Today we are talking about Albert. There we go again. Me talking about someone you think you don't know about, and then you thinking what's wrong with Mohsen. So let me tell you his first name, Albert Einstein. So there we go now. You know what I'm talking about. Albert was born on 14th of March 1879 in Germany and died 18th day of April 1955. Winner of Nobel Prizes for the physics in 1921 for the explanation of the photoelectric effect. Albert is considered the most influential physicist of the 20th century. Albert's parents were secular, middle-class Jews. His father, Hermann Einstein, was originally a feather bed salesman and later ran an electrochemical factory with moderate success. His mother, the former Pauline Koch, ran the family household. He had one sister, Maria, who went by the name of Maja, born 2 years after Albert. In most of my stories, I tell you not much about the person or their achievement, but that trigger point, the moment in their life that changed them as a human being to what they become for the rest of their life. Call it my specialty, call it my niche, call it my profession. I research not what they achieved, but what they did it, why they did it. Of course, you understand that I'm only limited in my research by the historic accounts that I can find. Let's get back to Albert. Einstein would write that two wonders deeply affected his early years. The first was his encounter with the compass at age 5. He was mystified that invisible forces could deflect the needle. This would lead to a lifelong fascination with invisible forces. The second wonder came at the age of 12 when he discovered a book of geography, which he devoured, calling it his sacred little geography book. There are a lot of misconceptions about Einstein. One of them is that he was a school dropout. To fix this misconception, please let me point out that he was not a school dropout, but he was a well-educated young man. Let's look at Albert Einstein's educational history. Born 1879, from 1884 to 1887 attended a Catholic primary school in Munich. 1887 to 1894 attended Luitpold Gymnasium. From 1895 to 1896 attended the Argovian Cantonal School in Switzerland. 1896 to 1900 attended ETZ Zurich for the BA in physics. 1900 to 1905 attended the University of Zurich for a doctor's degree. By mid-1905, he was awarded the PhD in physics. By the end of 1905, he had published 4 seminal papers. They would later be known as Annus Mirabilis papers, which established special relativity, the existence of atoms and the photoelectric effect. Now that we have that out of the way, let me tell you about his life and achievement. Einstein was half German, half Swiss. But when Hitler came to power in 1933, Einstein made his home in the USA. Einstein's fame rests on 2 theories of relativity. This theory of special relativity was published in 1905, which he worked in the patent house in Benz, Switzerland. In 1905, Einstein also explained the photoelectric effect. From these ideas, photo cells were developed. These are the basis of TV cameras and many other devices. Einstein was not satisfied with his theory of general relativity, as it didn't include electromagnetism. He spent last 25 years of his life trying to develop a unified field theory to include this. In August 1939, Einstein wrote a letter to US President Franklin Roosevelt in which he persuaded the president to launch the Manhattan Project to develop the nuclear bomb. Einstein was married twice. His first wife was Malavi Merrick. His second wife was Elsa, was also his first cousin. Now enough about his life. What makes him a genius and what makes us dumb? Is it his brain? You see, when Einstein died, instead of improving on his ideas, we began extracting his brain and cutting it into pieces. Yes, 140 pieces to be exact, and distributing it by the scientists to see why Einstein is a genius. His brain, all 140 pieces of which can be found at Mutter Museum in Philadelphia, and 2 pieces can be found in British Museum where they are on loan from Mutta. Okay, hopefully you have learned something from this video. Please don't like or subscribe unless you like the video. This is your host Mohsen Bukhari signing out.